Millions of tourists visit Rome each year and take photos of the Colosseum, but few ever stop to ask the obvious question: where is the other half? The real answer isn't what you expect. The unbelievable story of how Rome's greatest monument was destroyed wasn't by barbarians or earthquakes, but by Rome itself.
This behind me, of course, it is the famous Vespasian Colosseum. It was built around 70 AD by Emperor Vespasian. After his son Titus conquered Jerusalem temple in the 70 AD, they used the money from the usual temple to build this Colosseum.
This was the greatest stage the ancient world had ever seen when it opened. The arena could hold roughly 50,000 spectators. It was the center for mass entertainment for centuries, the ancient equivalent of film, sports, and theater combined. Romans gathered for gladiator fights, exotic beast hunts, and public executions. In its early days, the arena was even flooded to stage spectacular naval battles where warships clashed on the water in the heart of Rome. For 4 centuries, the Colosseum was where Rome watched itself perform. But when the emperor moved east, memory faded. By the Middle Ages, people no longer remembered its original purpose. Instead, myths filled the void. Some believe it was the temple to the sun god, crowned with a golden dome. Others claim the poet Virgil had used it to summon spirits. A few thought it was Jupiter's palace. None of these myths were true, and while stories multiplied, a real danger came from something far more ordinary: survival. The Goths didn't destroy the Colosseum. The Vandals didn't either. The real culprits were the Romans themselves. After the 6th century, families moved into its arches. They built homes, shops, and even churches inside the walls. But their most profitable work was dismantling the monument. They became lime burners, breaking marble into pieces, firing it into the kilns, and selling the lime as cement. The Colosseum wasn't just neglected, its own city cannibalized it. Records from the 15th century revealed the scale of destruction. In 1452, one contractor carted away thousands of stone loads in a year. Those blocks reappeared across Renaissance Rome. Half of the city's churches were built from Colosseum stone. Palaces, fountain, and even parts of St. Peter's Basilica and the Vatican. Rome grew by consuming its own monuments. But quarrying alone doesn't explain why half of the building is gone. The answer lies beneath the ground. The northern side stands on a solid volcanic rock. The southern side rests on a softer river sediment, making it more vulnerable. Every earthquake shook the south harder. In 1349, disaster struck. A massive quake brought down the entire southern facade in seconds. Chronicles describe the rubble as the Colosseum's thigh, grotesque but apt. That's why today the Colosseum looks like it had been sliced in half, with one side perfectly intact and the other side completely gone. And yet, the Colosseum wasn't erased. Why? Because the popes decided to make a spectacular backdrop. The northern arch framed the main road for papal procession. Its grandeur added drama for the ceremonies, so they ordered the section preserved. One pope in the 1500s even considered dismantling the rest. A public outcry stopped him. So in a strange, ironic twist, papal vanity saved what we see today. The Colosseum was reimagined as a Christian site by the early modern era. Crosses were raised, chapels were built, pilgrims came to see it as a place where martyrs had shed their blood. The historical evidence is debated, but the symbolism was powerful. Since the 18th century, this meaning has only grown stronger. Every Good Friday, the Pope leads the Via Crucis, the way of the cross, through the arena. Once the stage of blood sport, the Colosseum became a stage of faith and remembrance. The Colosseum was a central part of Roman life for over 400 years, from its inauguration in 80 CE until the last spectacles in the 6th century. The glory days lasted until the 5th century CE. The last recorded gladiator games occurred in 435 CE, even though emperors had officially banned them. Animal hunts continued longer, with the final hunt recorded in 523 CE. After that, the Colosseum was repurposed repeatedly: a quarry, a fortress, a cemetery, even a place of residence and work. Each generation bent it to its needs. Architects study its arches and vaults for centuries. The principles of crowd flow, sight lines, and tier seating spread worldwide. Even in ruin, the Colosseum became the blueprint for mass entertainment. Its DNA lives in stadiums and arenas across the globe. So, why is half of the Colosseum missing? It was quarried for limestone to build a Renaissance city. It was shaken apart by earthquakes, especially in 1349. And it was preserved only where Pope wanted a backdrop for procession. The Colosseum did not disappear. It became Rome itself. Every church, every palace, every square carries fragments of this arena. So the next time someone shows you the Colosseum photo, you can tell them the real story. It was dismantled by its own citizen, shaken apart by a disaster, and ultimately saved by a twist of papal vanity. And if you think that story is wild, wait until you hear how Constantinople became the capital of the Roman Empire for over 1,000 years. A story even stranger than this one. Click here for the full story and don't forget, keep digging.